Hey y'all, I'm Beth Salyers, host of the Curiosity Cafe. This episode is that early career bravery meets deep soul honesty energy bite that you might just be looking for. Today, I'm joined by Amina Craighead Reid, entrepreneur, creative thinker, and future business leader who somehow manages to blend psychology, skincare, and soul work into one fierce curiosity practice. We talk about the realities of building something from scratch, why pivoting is its own kind of courage, and how TikTok might just be the new Google for a generation redefining success. If you've ever felt stuck between figuring it out and keeping the faith, grab your coffee, take a breath, and let's get curious. Hey, how are y'all? I'm Beth Salyers. I am the host of the Curiosity Cafe, and I am over the moon to talk to Amina today. Amina and I met a couple of years ago.
Yeah, maybe like 2 or 3.
Yeah, we're in that period of time where I'm like, time's and I have such good memories about that meeting and our conversations since then and what you're up to now. So if you would you go ahead and introduce yourself to?
Sure. Hi, so I'm Amina Craighead Reid. I am a entrepreneur originally from Detroit, Michigan, by way of Atlanta. And Beth and I actually met when I was spending some time in New Orleans for my bachelor's degree. My most recent business was my skincare line, More Love Natural Skincare, which is how we became very well acquainted. I'm back. I relocated back to Georgia, and so I'm just gathering my bearings and still adjusting to change and yeah, but that's me.
Thank you so much for that. I remember that day we met over at, and your mom was with you,
Yes,
and
the
I tell people,
bookstore,
yes, at Baldwin,
Baldwin
right?
and Co. Yep. Uh-huh.
One of the best independent bookstores in the city of New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
Visiting, please go check it out. Um, and it was delightful. It was such a
So what?
delightful conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I was struck immediately with your phenomenal idea, everything you had already done towards the skincare, the reasoning why you wanted to do it, and the steps you're already taking. I was just like, you're, 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 I was like, "Where's your TED Talk? You can teach people twice your age, 3 times your age about going in and really showing up with integrity and mission in what and why you wanna do," and it was, anyways, a big honor to meet you and your mom that day. Um,
Likewise.
so, well, first of all, I'm curious, how's Atlanta? How is it moving back? Because it's been a
Yes.
bit, like last year maybe?
Yeah, well, it'll be a year in August, which is so crazy. It doesn't even seem like it's been that long.
Mhm.
So it's been cool. I've just been adjusting because the last time I was here, I was in high school, and so now I'm here as an adult on my own. And the adjustment has been humbling. It's been humbling, but I've been enjoying it. I still have some friends here, so in terms of support and community, that's really good. Um,
Mhm.
The job market is trash. The job market is so bad right now, which led me to decide to get my master's degree, as you know. Yes, which I will be starting in August at Georgia Tech. So I'm very excited, and that'll be my master's in business management. And so, what the plan is to gather all the knowledge, all the resources, all the mentorships that I can, and basically put myself in a position to act as that middleman or that middle step for other small businesses.
Mm.
Because I know when I was starting out mine, I just wish that I had, just a little bit of like a business community to look back with, or to work with and look back on. But I mean, outside of that, Atlanta's been cool. I'm currently doing Lyft full time, which I really love the flexibility. Um, and that's how I've been getting by, but, when I'm not working to pay a bill, I'm having fun, I'm in the sun, so it's lots to do here, so Atlanta's cool.
Absolutely. Do you mind if we start back? How First of all, how overall would you describe, obviously, we're here to talk about curiosity, and we'll get to one of your favorite comments you had when you filled out this form,
Okay.
about TikTok. But I'm curious, what got you to start the skincare company? And, like, because that's just not something that folks just wake up one day and you'd be like, "You know
Mhm.
what? I'm gonna run
Yeah.
some errands and go start a skincare company," especially with the focus that you have
Mhm.
on it. And I'm wondering, what was the path like?
Yeah.
How'd you use your curiosity, like, to show up and be like, "This is what I'm gonna
Yeah.
go for"?
So, honestly, I always had a love for skincare and just doing things on my own. So before I locked my hair, I was a loose natural. My mom was like, "You always making a conditioner, something natural with avocado and all the ingredients, just anything that's good. Anything I could get my hands on, I would DIY it for my skin or my hair." And so that's where the passion came from. But
Mm.
before skincare, I was baking. And so I felt like I wanted something a little bit more official because that felt more like a side hustle than a business. But I had a baking business and it felt more like a side hustle. So I wanted something a little bit more official. Um, and then it was called More Love because I'm not doing it currently anymore. It's been dormant for a while. And so um, it was inspired by my grandmother, and I created it to cater to those who have skin ailments like eczema or psoriasis. And so when you do, well, I don't know. When people do their business research, the first thing they say is to have a niche for your business. And so
Right.
that's how I created my niche because even though I didn't have eczema, I knew so many people in my community who did. And I knew a lot of people who are starting to have that conscious shift of what they're putting on their body and what's being made in the process and the chemicals and things like that. And
Yeah.
so doing things DIY for myself, everything was just natural, stuff from the grocery store, like
Mhm.
no chemicals to make it last long. I had 3 days to do it. So before it went bad. And so that's basically what my niche became. I mean, also picking my niche goes back into my mom, who's very holistic and a naturopath. And so anything that she puts me on to is like, oh, it's natural, it's the healthier way. And so that kind of just came like an instinct to me, like whatever I do, it's going to be the healthiest form of it. Um, and so that's where the passion came from. And honestly, that's where I have my current idea because I feel like I'm kind of a serial entrepreneur. Like I kind of have my hand in a lot of bags and I love them all for different reasons.
Mhm.
And so with More Love, I did everything. I did the website, I did the logo, I did the graphics, I did social media presence, I did the finances. And so that honestly was kind of a sign for me, like a little bit of burnout because I got so overwhelmed doing everything by myself. And so, and also not because I didn't have people I could help, but when you're starting out, money is already tight. And so
Right.
to be the most sustainable, it's like I could just do it myself, but that wears on you. And
Yeah.
so connecting that experience to my grad program, I want to be in a position where I can act as that stepping stone between small businesses that need help here and there so that they're not um burning out doing everything on their own and trying to research everything and YouTube University everything, or for now,
Right.
now it's TikTok, but
Right.
YouTube University everything, and then the trial and error with just learning from my mistakes and the things that I've been through. So but yeah, More Love was amazing, and I did it through private labeling, which I feel like a lot of people don't know about. And for the sake of the podcast, private labeling is when you support another business. When you support another business, that gives you the permission to put your name on their product. And so basically, I made my toner of my skincare line, but I had another friend make her soap. So I was also giving back to my community and putting money in my friends' pockets who had their own businesses. And then I private labeled my body butter, which was basically from another lady who made it in wholesale, shipped it to me already made, and I was able to easily put my logo on it legally. And so that is pretty much the story of more love. Oh, that's what it was. So,
Uh-huh.
because I private labeled,
Hmm.
when that vendor went out of business, it kind of created a snowball effect of just being overworked and burnt out and like doing everything. And so
Yeah.
my break, more love's break, kind of came after she decided to take her break. 'Cause it was like I love the product, I love our relationship. I wasn't prepared or ready to seek somebody else, and so that's why it came to a pause. But I still enjoyed every part of that process, and I do it again.
Well, I mean, this it set you up for the perfect candidate for getting your graduate degree in this, and like really, it's. I have so many questions. Okay, because I came to doing all of this without any sort of business degree. My master's is not anywhere close to. Um, my master's was designed to help me teach, middle school language arts better.
Mhm,
So very different. Um, and so when you were back conceiving of more love, and you'd already been using natural products, and you said, shout out to your mom,
mhm,
who raised you in this idea that medicine is all around us,
yeah,
and ingredients should be good for you, good for the plant, like this value system.
right.
Um, I think a lot of people have, they're like, ooh, that's cool. But what was it about that took you from, ooh, that's cool, I dig that, I do that for myself or my friends or my family, to, you know what, I'm gonna go for this. I'm gonna
Mhm.
business. Like, how do you even, because that takes something else.
Yeah, that's a good question. I really don't have like a black and white answer because my mom would say things about my doing my conditioner and things for
Mhm.
myself. She probably was mentioning that maybe a year or two before I actually did the business. And so it was kind of something subconscious, like, oh, I do love this enough to really make it into a business. Um, and the other thing that I can say that it was kind of where I was at in life because was I still in school? I think I just graduated from my bachelor's program at the illustrious Xavier University of Louisiana. So I had just finished getting my bachelor's degree in psychology and I wasn't working full-time jobs. And so between my baking business and just doing small things on the side, it just allowed me to have more freedom and flexibility with how I chose to work and how I chose to make money. And so that aligned with, just being an entrepreneur and trying to decide what the next level would be. Because I didn't really want to make the baking side hustle into a business. I
Right.
enjoyed it, but it just I don't think I had like the full passion of it that I did for the skincare to really make it. Oh, that's my cat. Let me- Let's see.
What a cutie.
Her name is Ginger.
Hi. Thanks. Hi.
But yeah, so I don't know exactly what it was to make me say, oh, I definitely want to start this business.
Hmm.
Oh, but I did learn more about because at this time I think I was getting a taste of reality with student loans and how that affects credit and just, I was up increasing my credit limits for the first time. So I was getting more serious in terms of my awareness around the financial part of being an adult. And so one thing that was appealing in terms of, oh, this definitely needs to be a LLC, not just a side hustle, was I can use my business credit for this. I can buy cars, in the business name. I can create some protection with, a liability, through the government instead of using myself as a personal entity. And so that also kind of made the light bulb go off. But also, I guess it's like you said with my mom and my upbringing, she had started, my mom has businesses too. And so, shout out to Alafia Wellness and Alafia World Travel. Yes. um,
Your
and
mom's
so,
LinkedIn updates. She does the coolest stuff.
yes.
Like, always like, my goodness.
And she's always so chill about it. Like, no, girl, that is so cool. um, but yeah, so her knowledge also kind of guided me on the path towards looking more into a LLC.
Mm.
And then it just became a little bit more important and like, um, not intimate, but that, emotional attachment to it. What's the word starts with a C? I can't think of it. But what gave me what gave me that, emotional attachment was naming the company after my grandmother. So then I felt like, of course, you wanna do things for yourself, but I was also having that outside motivation of like, "Oh, my grandmother would be so proud of me," to start a business in her name. And so, that definitely pushed me as well to make it more official, like, my grandmother is more than just a side business, a side hustle.
Yes.
Yeah.
What thank you so much for sharing that, and, I think it's so important that you like, you know that old game, the Trivia Pursuit with the pies, you have to answer questions?
Vaguely.
Totally showing my age.
I know I'm
Next
aware of other trivia games.
next time I'll be like, "Where's my Rolodex? And where's my
I know
yellow
what a
pages?"
Rolodex is. I do know I am aware with that. I am.
Okay, other than that,
Uh-huh.
uh, a pie chart, right?
Mhm,
And you need all the different places, like, to make it full, and for me, what you just went through is that you had accounted for the financial aspects, like, what are the best decisions to make for you, for the business, for existing in this economic structure that we are in,
mhm,
um, and then also, like, what did you enjoy doing? Where was your natural curiosity with natural products? And it served you, it served folks in your community. You could collaborate with your friends,
yep,
colleagues. But then also that emotional tie,
mhm,
that that regenerative energy that says, it's not just about me.
right,
Like honoring your grandmother in this case.
mhm,
And I love the fact that even as you talk about it, I think so often in business, people are like, how are you going to make money?
mhm,
What are your margins? How fast are you iterating?
yeah,
All the code, the sexy words people throw out there,
yeah,
as really talking about all those elements that really go into it. And you mentioned something that has been kind of a theme that's rising up in these conversations I'm having is the importance of the space
mhm,
and the pause. Because I think you said something really important is that when you graduated from Xavier, you did not go into like a 9 to 5 where it was like probably not 9 to 5, people going out like 75 hours a week or something
mhm,
silly, but you had the time and space to like think and
mhm.
and you know
Yeah, process.
during
And you know what else,
yeah
added to me being able to do that? I
yeah
spent my last 2 years of undergrad going through COVID, and so COVID showed people you don't have to work a 9 to 5 to pay bills, you don't have to be limited and stuck in the building to do your job, and so also that gave me like, "Oh, I don't have to do a traditional 9 to 5." Like, there's nothing traditional about the world right now. And so that also
understood.
yeah, that also
Well,
kinda got me to like, "Okay, I can start a business." People are doing it. People are paying their bills by painting their nails online and, just all type of stuff. Like, I could do it.
that is such a good point. Like you literally had more time than if you had been in classes, going out and about. We have a very lively city here in New Orleans. There's never a shortage of things to attend, right?
Exactly.
So what that's really interesting. Not only it feel but that kind of gave you the opportunity to see like, wow, there's some of these structures that we've been told have to exist. You're like,
Mhm. They don't.
apparently,
Yeah, they don't, yeah. Which I feel like is a double-edged sword for my generation because I feel like a lot of things are like that,
yeah,
where we had this traditional set of rules and this blueprint that we were told was like the perfect way to reach success, and whether that's with stocks or, going to college straight into work or just
mhm,
having a career full time, and it's just like a lot so many things are being rewritten for my generation and younger because the
mhm,
world is just changing every day. And so
right.
like when I vent to my mom, she's like, I can give you, the best advice that I can give, but my reality at that time at your age is so different from your reality at this age. And so
Yeah.
part of it is like she can walk me through it, and other part is she's like, child, that's different. That's something I'm not
I don't know.
good for that. Yeah. So it definitely forced me to change how I was viewing, business and ways to make money. Because my bachelor's was in psychology, but I knew very this is the ironic part. I knew very early that I did not want to go to masters to get my master's program degree. And so I was like, I got to figure out a way to, I mean, of course, psychology can be applied to so many things.
I very much so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I still had to build the gap, close the gap or build the bridge to see what I could do to not be forced into that traditional box. So
Well, kudos to you.
thank you. It's
But
it's not as easy as it looks.
I was gonna say, you make it look so easy. You're just like, I'm gonna go do this, I'm gonna go do this, but I know that that's not
Yes.
how it goes. But no, kudos to you.
Thank
Like,
you.
I think it's really big fan of y'all's generation, um, of uh, witnessing, reflecting, and saying it doesn't have to be like this, and then actually putting action to those thoughts um, is just damn inspiring
Yeah.
at beginning, but also can teach everyone so much,
Mhm.
regardless of their age, regardless of what generation they're part of,
Right.
um, or even what walk of life, what niche they're in, all these sort
Mhm.
of things. So I'm endlessly inspired by you,
Thank
and
you. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. That's so
uh,
sweet because, as an entrepreneur, you have those times when you feel really affirmed in what you're doing. Like I had times where, like when I was getting my logo made, at first I did it and then I was able to hire someone to polish it up. And I'm, yes, like this is great. This is where I'm supposed to be.
uh,
Everything is moving perfectly. And then you have those times where your number one vendor goes out of business and you're like, "Ah."
it's so
The
well
ebb
said.
and
Like
flow.
the roller coaster is
Yep.
in like it could be from like 20 minutes difference, right? It's not
Yes,
like
it doesn't have to
giving
be years apart. No, it could be within the same day, within the same hour. So
right.
I really appreciate you for saying that because, it just, like you said, a lot of entrepreneurs can be so focused on the income and what's the profit margin. And I understand that because
You
it's
need it.
really hard to not be like to have a balance with your tunnel vision. It can be so easily
Yeah.
to step out of moderation. But yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. It makes me feel so good, like I'm doing something right, even when it doesn't always feel like it.
And I think that's part of the brave part.
Mhm.
Part of the brave part of yeah, if we all had it figured out and there was no uncertainty, then everyone would be doing it.
Right.
It'd be pretty boring. It'd be pretty like
Yeah.
same and so I'm curious, we all love it when we're like we got like that internal like I got my logo done, that feels
Mhm.
good, resonates, I'm on the right path. How do you keep yourself engaged and curious in those moments where you're like, my biggest vendor dropped or
Mhm.
the economy just
Yeah.
or X, Y, and Z? What is your technique for being like, now what? How do I keep myself
To be honest, to be completely honest, I am still figuring it out. So it definitely varies, based on the situation.
me too.
Okay, okay, good. So I'm not by myself. I'm definitely still figuring it out. Sometimes it's easier to bounce back and it's like, let me go treat myself to a seafood boil and a daiquiri and then get back to business. Sometimes it's as easy as that. Where other times it's like, okay, I need to sit in solitude, I need to journal, I need to be precise about my prayers and my goals and then see what I can do right now in this minute. And so honestly, it's really hard because it's a mental thing, and I actually was just telling my mom, like, I kinda see people say, like, "Oh," like, they might see a grumpy old man, they're like, "He been grumpy his whole life," and so, I was telling my mom, like, I can kinda see how people slip into that everlasting grumpiness because I've been feeling lately like my mental elasticity to bounce back and be, back in that positive mindset and that positive, course of action has been challenged. Like, and so I guess the main thing I do when I'm stuck in that type of mindset and in that kind of funk is one, count my blessings, which is my mom has drilled that into me, since I was younger. Because it can be so easy to get lost in what you don't have or the goals I'm not accomplishing. Um, and so, or the money I'm not making, or the vendor that I wish I had.
Oh, yeah.
So, I think the first thing is to check myself mentally to make sure that I'm not adding to,
Yeah.
whatever is weighing me down. Um, and then everything else, I just take it a step at a time and I figure it out. Of course, I have my support system where I can vent. Um, but yeah, I mean, and also being okay with pivoting and being flexible because when I tell
Yeah.
you I was so certain that I was not going to grad school, like, oh no, I'm done with school. Like, I do not want to go back to school. School is not seeing me. I'm not taking out any more loans. And it's like 6 months into being here in Georgia and I haven't found a job and my bachelor's degree kind of like the value kind of went down in this economy. Like it's kind of seemed like
Mm,
it's normal. Like I feel like a bachelor's degree kind of has the value of um a diploma because more people are getting it. And so I'm not like, it's not it's not as rare. It doesn't like make you shine as much as it used to. And so 6 months into just applying and or or jobs that want you to have a bachelor's degree for $15 an hour, things crazy stuff. Yeah. So I was like,
right.
okay, it's time for me to pivot about what I want to do because I can't just, stay in this middle weird spot that I'm in of applying and then
Yeah.
job hunting comes with its own emotional warfare.
And it is rough out there. I've been through
Yes.
rough.
Rough. Okay. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. I'm like, my best
Uh,
friend has a job. She's like, I'm tired. I said, girl, if you don't keep that job,
got
like
benefits, got a paycheck. You better
yeah,
keep.
she works from home. I'm like, keep it. But yeah, so I had to be okay with pivoting. Like, okay, I've been saying no grad school for the past 3 years. It's time to be like, oh well, let me look at a certain program and see what I can do. So I think the main thing when you're like stuck in between, like my pastor calls it the storm. A lot of people are either going
Mm,
into a storm, coming out, or still in the middle of it. And so, as an entrepreneur, when I'm going through the storm, I think the main things is to check myself mentally, reaffirm myself with my blessings and the positive things that I have around, and then just taking a deep breath when it comes to pivoting because it's hard for me because I have a plan, I have a backup plan, I have a plan for my backup plan, and it's like there's no room to pivot between those plans. It's just the plans, and so getting more comfortable with that, with the flow and then seeing it's rewarding too because after the fact you're like, oh well, this led to that and I had no idea. And if I didn't pivot, it wouldn't have happened. So
Well, I would like to say that you can tell that you have such a lovely and strong support system and psychology degree.
mhm. Yeah, I'm very blessed.
You because I love how you broke down in ways of here are the things I know work for me in those moments of "Ah,
Hmm.
somebody just need to get yourself a daiquiri, take a
Yeah.
walk in the park, just kind of
Yeah, let it out.
move
Hmm.
through, right? Other times, maybe it's taking a nap.
Hmm.
Maybe it's prayer
Yeah,
or journaling or whatever
journaling or
that
whatever.
is. But I think that's also a skill to have.
Mhm.
I think
Definitely.
you see a list of like good things to do if you're experiencing anxiety. You're like,
Yeah.
"Feel it."
Yeah.
But to actually do them and to know what actually fits for you in a certain period
Hmm.
takes so much reflection.
It is hard because it's easier
Yeah.
said than done. Because even recently with like me doing Lyft full time, I'm grateful. I have a safe car, safe transportation. I've had great encounters with my guests, but it's just like you couldn't tell me 2 years ago this is what I would be doing for making money. And then at this part of my life, I feel like I'm having like an entrepreneur withdrawal. Like I need to have my own business. Like I need to be, you know. um, and
You're doing
so
that sign, you're like, "Ooh, that's for me. I'm supposed to
yes.
Mhm.
And so even recently I was getting out of a funk, and it just sometimes it just takes like just a switch of the mindset, because it's easier because my mom's like, you know what to do, you know to count your blessings, you know to journal, you know to call. And it's like sometimes when I even having that skill of listing those things out, it can be so hard and like a battle within to actually do those things. Do I have a journal? Yes. Have I opened it recently? And so,
Did it
yeah,
still creak when I open it? Like,
yeah, it's like when blow dust off of it. Yeah, so it's a battle, but I am blessed that my mom has raised me with those things. And so really once since I've been given those tools, it's really just up to me to decide when to, use them and
mm,
decide which tool is best for which situation I'm in.
yeah.
But yeah, it's a challenge.
It's a huge challenge, but thank you for sharing that because anyone who's watching, I think that's one of the reasons I'm doing this is because I think we think about curiosity. It's like we think about strategy and we think about all these big words. J- I don't think we have a ton of examples of people really showing and being honest about what does it feel like to
Mhm.
be curious about your own life and about your work and what you want to do, and that sometimes it just sucks, and sometimes
Yeah.
it's hard, and sometimes it feels really nasty.
Yeah, really trashy,
So,
yeah. And
yeah,
it's so
yeah,
funny, my mom was saying that she's like, "I think you should start a blog or a podcast or something because, I'll just be honest, like, Mom, excuse my French, but I'm tired of this shit." Like, adulting is not fun.
it's so overrated.
It's so overrated. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I want. I don't know who I like. I don't know what I want for dinner tonight. Like it's just so much. And I think it's important, which is why I'm so glad to be a part of this podcast with you. It's is that what you classify it as, a podcast?
It's we're gonna do pod, but it's also gonna be on the YouTubes.
Okay, okay, nice.
I want everyone to know that I'm fully
Yes.
owning my 6
Okay,
years,
nice.
and I still have all the same questions you do.
Yeah. Yeah, but what I was saying was it's important to be a part of these things because especially with social media is like a highlight of life. And so I feel like there's
Mm,
not a lot of resources or people talking about like the confused part of, everyday life. And just I'm like, "Mom, I don't know what I'm doing." She's like, "Well, I'm still figuring it out for myself, and I'm this this old and this experience, so everybody's just figuring it out for themselves as they go." And so I think when we're reminded that we can be confused and lost and frustrated together, it makes the process a lot easier.
hmm, hell yeah. Agreed.
Yeah,
Agreed, because the shit's hard.
it
Uh,
is, and it's getting harder, in this day and age of economy and politics, to say the least.
and on the best day, it's getting tough. It's,
Yeah.
uh, you know, and,
Yes.
so 2 questions.
Mhm,
First, what was the can you describe what it felt like when you were like, "I don't know, in Atlanta, the job market totally blows.
mhm,
It's not resonating." How what did you do to help you get to the point of, "I this is the program.
mhm,
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna apply."
mhm.
What was that like?
Honestly, to be completely honest, it was me being between a rock and a hard place because I'm not sure if I mentioned it to you, but I moved out here with my partner at the time. And so we ended up breaking up and he moved out. And so it was 6 months of unemployment. It was two-person income with just me on for rent. It was
Yeah.
Um, for those who don't know, my mom travels a lot, and so we see each other by visiting other places. And so she told me, like, I can help you with your rent, but it's taken away from the money that will allow us to see each other for my summer break. So that was like, oh, hell no. Like, no, no. And so honestly, it was a sermon, it was a combination of things not going my way in a sense. I mean, they got me here, so it kind of was in my way, but I couldn't see it at the time
I know it doesn't feel like that when you're in it.
at all.
Right.
at all. And so, I mean, I had paid for the premium LinkedIn. I was going to job fairs. I was talking to people word of mouth. I was, I was really in the job hunt. And so it's like, well, this isn't working. So something else has to change. Um, and that was the last thing was like, if they're seeing bachelor's degrees as, everyday accomplishments, well, I gotta one up them. I gotta I gotta go achieve the accomplishment that's gonna make me stand out and put me in a better situation. And then also with school, it's like it connects me to job placement and opening, like having an alumni connection and resources, and you know um, so that's what kind of pushed me towards deciding to go to grad school. And then when I was picking the program, I knew I didn't want to go for psychology or sociology, because I learned during like the first year of COVID online learning that I really like sociology more than psychology. But I was
Oh,
already like second semester junior. I was like, I'm not
right.
changing. Yeah, exactly.
Goodness.
So um I knew I didn't want to go back to school for that. And I knew that life had kind of, well, not kind of. I was an entrepreneur. I'm a full blown entrepreneur. Even when even on my off days, I'm still an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
um, and so that's when my mom and I started looking into business programs. And so, we just did the steps. We got my top 3 or 4 schools. We seeing how much was, the cheapest ones and the programs. And so I'm actually going for, I think it's considered a MIM, or I don't know exactly what the abbreviation is, but it's not an MBA like the traditional master's degree. And so this one actually was like calling my name because it's 1 year and it's still the components of a MBA, but it's not as difficult and it's not as long. And so ultimately the time frame of the program was what really got me, because I'm like, I'm not trying to be in school.
Right, right. You're like a year, I can do a year like that.
hmm
Yeah, that
And
makes sense.
also, I read something a while ago that was like, and it really changed my mindset in terms of when I decide to do something. It's like,
Mhm.
it might take you 3 years to get through school, but it's the 3 years is going to go by regardless if you go to school or not. It's so that really was like, okay, by the time I'm 20, by the time I'm 27 going on 28, the time is going to pass. Either I'll be 27 going on 28 with a degree or I won't. So I'm like, let me go ahead.
That yes, right. I've um heard that before too, and
Mhm.
like yeah, it trips me up too in a good way of like
Yeah, might as well.
might as well.
Yeah.
I'm you know willing,
hmm
be alive in 5 years, so I might as well go after what I
Which one?
do it right.
Yeah.
Um, Thank you for sharing that because I think we just especially in the world of what it is right now, that the job economy is trash, that we're facing increased threats of violence and hatred and whatnot.
Yeah.
That it really helps to just to vocalize that
Mm,
and to talk about how and to see how other people process and move through it with others.
yeah.
So I really appreciate that. And similarly, one of the reasons why I'm doing this curiosity focus this year is like I needed an anchor
Right.
because I was looking for it was trash.
Yeah.
It was
Awful. Yeah.
just crazy fucked up shit going on.
Yeah.
And and you've mentioned a couple times social media.
hmm
So when you sent back this form that folks fill out just to
hmm
kind of give us an idea of where your curiosity comes from, you wrote, TikTok is the new Google, so that's where most of my curiosity gets fed, regardless of whether or it relates to work or life.
Yes.
I also love TikTok. Please tell me,
hmm
especially because you are considered a digital native, right?
Yeah.
You've always
Yeah.
had a different experience than I had.
hmm
How do you use TikTok
hmm
in a way that fuels your curiosity?
Yeah, so TikTok is great. I love TikTok. And at first I was so hesitant, like, I'm not getting on TikTok. People are addicted to it. I don't know what that is. I'm not doing that. But I really do love TikTok. I use it, what'd you say? How it feeds my curiosity?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, one, it tailors your page. So similar to Instagram. Well, not really similar to Instagram. It basically, for those who don't know, TikTok is a platform with all the videos, all the people, all the reviews. And so, say I like a picture about herbalism, and then I like or a video about herbalism and a video about natural skincare. That's what will pop up on my timeline, and it caters to what I like. And so, honestly, it's not hard to get curious on TikTok. You can go down a rabbit hole. You'll start at one end. I'll start on herbs and teas and end up in skincare, and then end up in transportation, and then end up all over. And I'm like, okay. And so what I like about TikTok is it's kind of like Google but with live reviews,
Mm,
and the people, you get a sense of their energy of like, oh, this person is my speed, or I wouldn't really listen to them. And so it gives you like kind of like a personal outreach into whatever it is you're looking at, and then you get a
mm.
glimpse of people's experience. And then the comments is a whole other thing. Yeah. And so I love TikTok. I mean, for instance, like, you can Google, it's gnat season. You can Google how to get rid of gnats, and it'll say hot water and baking soda down the drain. You go on TikTok and you'll see somebody, and they're like, it kind of worked for me, but then I tried this and that worked really good. And then my aunt told me this and that worked really good. And so it's just like a one-stop shop of other people's experiences, other resources, and other methods to, still accomplish the same thing. And so I love TikTok. I mean, anything I
What?
look up, what'd you say?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna anything I look up, it takes me into something else, or it makes me think about it deeper.
Mm.
So I like to use I'm into tarot and zodiac signs and things like that. And so I'll go and I'll read my I'll watch the video for my zodiac sign, Capricorns, we rock. Um
Your son or your moon or
Oh,
your
that's
son?
my son. Okay, look at you. Yeah, I'm a Capricorn
Yeah.
sun. Yes. But that's exactly what I was going to say. I would start out looking at Capricorn sun, and I'm like, oh, I have a rising, I have a moon, I have a Venus, I got this, and then it's like, oh, how does this play into my life? And then you have like houses, and like, oh, this house means money, and this house means career. And now I've been on TikTok for 3 hours, so it's like it's it's a double-edged sword, because you can really learn so much, but you can also get
Yeah.
lost in it. And it's like, okay, let me get back into the real world, apply what I learned.
Mm,
Um, but yeah,
that
I
part.
enjoy it. Yeah, TikTok is cool, but I will say TikTok has gotten really limited as political things have changed, because
Ooh,
one reason that I loved TikTok in the beginning is it was unfiltered, and you could get information from people all over the world. And it
yeah.
would pop up naturally. You didn't have to really look too hard for it. You didn't have to follow a certain hashtag. And
Yeah.
so that's what I really appreciated about TikTok in the beginning, because it was a genuine mix. I feel like on Instagram or Facebook, you might have a variety of people. Let's say you went to high school, they're in the same area, or they like the
Right.
same hobbies. But with TikTok, you'll get that, and then you'll get people on the other side of the world. You'll get people. My friend was like, "Why am my TikTok is in Spanish? I don't even speak Spanish." And so, you just
The
get that.
algorithm, you've heard it enough things,
Yeah. And
right?
so I really enjoyed that. And as someone who travels, I just naturally have a deep appreciation and enjoyment for other countries and other customs and other
Yeah.
traditions. And so having that in a social media form was one of my favorite things about TikTok.
Mhm.
It's changed a little bit now, and it's a little bit of censorship. I won't say too much, but that
It's
was part of
there.
why TikTok filled my curiosity so much as well.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, especially I thought it definitely had and does still, but especially earlier on, like this international voice. Wasn't just folks in the United States, it wasn't just people in the South, it wasn't just people who
Right.
look it wasn't just truly in other languages and all over the world.
Yeah.
that I really, really appreciated. Um, what is it about the visual
Mhm.
for you? Because, right, you could go on and I'm sure that Reddit and you could read about
Mhm.
blogs, blah, blah, blah. But for you, when you're going in and you're looking for information or you want to be entertained, you just need some catharsis,
Yeah.
or what is it about that like just normal people
Mhm.
theme?
Um, I don't know. I feel like, well, for one, I'm a visual learner, so that's the first thing. Because I could see like online it says, oh, for instance, okay, you go online, say a pasta recipe and it tells you the steps, but on TikTok you have the person, you know, walking you through it. You see what it should look like. They say, "Oh, I messed up here, but you can do that," or "I'd like to
Mhm.
substitute this for that, but it's up to you." And it just feels like more of a immersive experience. It feels like I'm there. It gives that, I'm there feeling. It's like
Yeah.
um and it just feels a little bit personal. And then for me, I guess body language, depending on what the video is and what the person is saying. And so I might feel more connected or more interested based on this person's body language or their mannerisms or their diction. Um, excuse me, versus other people. And then, with Google, you just type in, read it, and it's not a personal experience. And I feel like the video part of TikTok kind of makes it more personal. And then the other thing about, like, if you could compare Instagram to TikTok, because it still has that visual representation, I felt like people were just a lot more genuine in themselves on TikTok, whereas Instagram was the highlight of people's lives. And so you would get on TikTok and you could see people with one lash hanging off and their hair looking crazy. And they're like, y'all, my car just got towed, but this is what I learned in the process. And it felt genuine, and it felt like, oh, they just like me. They figured it out just like me. Whereas Instagram is like, I get on Instagram, I'm like, oh, I need to be a entrepreneurial professional millionaire in the next 3 years. So
Right. And I gotta wear this and it's gotta be styled like this.
yeah, I need to get
Yeah.
photo shoots and all this stuff which might be important, but it's just a little bit more on the surface. And I feel like TikTok kind
Right.
of allowed people to see, like, you know, that kind of community feeling, like, oh, people on Instagram, like, oh, I woke up like this and they look perfect. And then people on TikTok
Right.
is like, I woke up like this and you could tell they woke up like that.
They were telling it.
Yeah. And so I think that also gave TikTok a sense of just feeling like, how we were saying it's important to display that people aren't confused by themselves.
Mhm.
It provided that sense of not being alone. And, if they could post about it and they could laugh about it, and then that's one thing. To post about it and laugh about it is one thing, but then for it to gain traction and all these viewers and then all these people are also relating and also feeling the same way, and they also got one eyelash with their hair looking a mess. And so it just makes it a little bit more comforting to admit when you're looking for something, or to admit when you're needing help, or to admit that you don't have it together. So, yeah, that's what I think that answers the question.
Yeah, it's so I think you touched on something really important that and like a theme through what you've talked about so far is that importance of being true to yourself,
Mm,
or community that gets you through, finding folks that you can be real with because it's hard,
yeah,
and like that keeps you in the curiosity, that keeps you from, you know, uh tapping out,
yeah,
that from, you know, places that are really, really, really difficult. And I
mhm,
think that that's getting past that shiny, especially right now, like shit is trash,
it is.
and so what are we all doing? How are we doing it? What can we teach each other? What can we learn from each other? How can we
Right.
listen to each other? Um, yeah, that it resonates so deeply with what I go to TikTok for as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah,
Just
definitely.
for some for I used just to learn and to
Mhm.
be curious about what other people are thinking and doing.
And I feel
Um,
like TikTok also offers a sense of relief in terms of, if I've had a hard day, and I'm not meeting my entrepreneur goals, then I could go to Instagram, and then I kind of would reinforce that same frustration because Instagram has all these people that look like they have it figured out. And it's like, why can't I get it figured out? But this is
Right.
me trying to get some downtime. This is me trying to release that energy versus when I go to TikTok and I see other people admitting that they don't have it together. So it's like, it makes it easier to take that deep breath and to be like, okay, I'm not alone. It's not perfect. Or even the people, even businesses that are on wider scales, they're still talking about their struggles and how people message
Right.
them saying crazy stuff. And so it just gives that sense of you know, being not artificial, but genuine. It makes your downtime, it makes everything better.
What I would like to say, especially with the things, so many things out there to comment on right now,
Mhm.
we have some funny people. There are some next door neighbors to people
Mhm.
who are just hilarious,
Yep.
and they are shining, and I am very grateful
Yeah,
because they bring the laugh.
That's exactly what I was gonna say too. It slipped my mind, but it's like on Instagram, be like, "Oh, the world is going to shit, but at least I have a high rise, or at least I'm living in another country, or just like they're
At
just
least my
still showing
Mercedes is
off."
paid off.
Exactly, but TikTok's like, "Yeah, the world is going to shit, and it sucks, but look at me tell this funny story." And it's like it acknowledges it, and it doesn't try to like put lipstick on a pig, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Mhm. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, yes, yes. Um, I know you travel a lot.
I do.
Where would you recommend people go
Mhm.
to really be able to practice and get into their own curiosity? What's a place that
Mm.
people that they could really, like, practice
Yeah.
new?
Hmm. Okay. I have a few different answers, and of course, it depends on the person as well. So my mind immediately went to Morocco, um, and I just loved Morocco so much. It felt authentic. That's the word I was looking for. It felt very authentic, and people were nice, and people didn't try to box you into something or try to label you as anything. And if you were new to something, that was okay. um and just honestly being around, like, walking down the street and smelling the spices of the market, it put me in a different mind space. And so I'm not too sure if that directly correlates with curiosity, or just kind of more so being in an environment that allows you to take that deep breath to even get into that mindset and
Oh.
curious.
Mm.
Yeah, so I really loved it, Morocco. The people were so nice and funny, and it was just a completely different experience in America. And I think, honestly, for this reason, I think you could really suggest any place, because America is so, like, we're worker bees. Like, everybody is working, everything is people's accomplishments, everything is fast paced and urgent. And for instance, when my mom was living in Egypt, it took us a while to get comfortable with the fact that stores didn't open till 12, because it was their culture to take their time in the morning. Like, we're not opening up first thing in the morning. And so their community was just at a more relaxed pace. And so I feel like regardless of where you go, you're gonna get that sense of being able to really breathe and not worry about living check to check, or what's the next thing I could do to make it look like I'm living the life I really want to live, or like,
Yeah.
just that it I feel like the way that America is it kind of takes the joy out of the small things, like just being able to enjoy the spices at the market, walking down the street, and really just breathe, versus come in and you go into grocery store and you see these shelves full of chemicals and colors and the madness.
Can't pronounce 'cause they're so long. Yeah.
Exactly. And so, but I also think that's why people from America want to go other places, and other places want to come to America, because we're just different. We have the opposite type of life. And so for me, I'm yearning for a place where I can just relax. I mean, not always relax, but just be in a state of mind where I know I could thrive and be my full
Mm,
self and not worry about juggling so many things. Um, because I'm like, I mean, when you think about it, it's like car note, car insurance, house insurance, and people, and it's not like in other countries they don't have even credit. They're not even worried about it. Credit score isn't a thing to be stressed about.
right. It doesn't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like either you have it or you don't, which can, that could be really hard or really cool depending on who you ask. But so that's my first answer. And then what was gonna be my second? I feel like my second probably would have been Jamaica because I've been a couple times, but I've gotten the resort experience and I've gotten the native experience. And
Mhm.
so for me, this is just who I am. I love water. I love the tropics. I love the warmth. So I love Jamaican food. So for
Mhm.
me, it just put me in the place of just ready to have fun and ready to get into something. I just want to get into something. I want to see it all. I want to go, take all the tours. I want to
Lord, do all.
exactly. And so that definitely speaks to my curiosity. Um but yeah, I think it just depends on the person and what their spirit is yearning for. Um
Mm,
because the motion of life isn't as rigid and aggressive as it is here in other countries. Um so I think that alone will put people in another space to be able to really let go and, you know,
yeah,
feed into that curiosity.
yeah. And I guess it's coming back to that whole, even when you said you left Xavier, like having that space,
Exactly.
and here
And
it
the
is.
only reason I had that space is because of a global pandemic. It wasn't something good. It wasn't like
Right, right. Horrible happenings.
yeah.
You were able to make good out of it, right? And
Right.
find the but also, it'll be interesting as we see people progress further on from the pandemic and others who kind of were like, it made them question how we do things
Mhm.
and what has to be.
Yeah.
Um, and then going, I kind of like that space to think and breathe and have more time with my friends and family
Mhm.
and like be creative and not
Yeah.
etc. And I love how you put it of creating the space so that you can be curious.
Yeah.
Because, right, if you have notifications and deadlines
Yes.
that and all this stuff, that is not
Wi-Fi is everywhere. We're very much connected on our phone, and I mean,
right.
I didn't see like the high school students, and they might be on their phone, but it's just not as in their face as it is for us. And I feel like I don't know,
Mhm.
being American comes with like a little badge of anxiety, like a little, just like we're always on the run, we're always on our phone, we're always checking our emails, we're always paying the bill, we're always, 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 yeah. And I feel
Right.
like other countries kind of give you the space to be like, okay, yeah, I got a bill, but I can walk to the beach or I can just go to the store in a couple hours. I don't have to do it first thing in the morning. Like, it just gives you the space. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
I really appreciate that, and you're right, this, where do you find curiosity if you're always going?
exactly. You don't.
There literally is no space or
Hmm.
brain power left or
Yes.
spirit left or
En-
just any sort of
Energy,
energy.
exactly. Yeah.
So what advice would you give someone in living in the United States, in the hustle of the US,
Mhm.
if they were like, "That's I wanna do that," but we all know that wanting to do something and being able to
They're actually doing it.
do it are 2 different things.
Yeah.
What advice would you give someone who
Mhm.
wanted to start practicing creating that space?
Um, I'd say make a list first to be clear on what those things are that they want to
Mhm.
experience. Um, and then putting themselves in a position to get a taste of it because it's easy to keep wanting something when you don't have a taste for it. I mean, when you haven't experienced a taste of it, but
Mhm.
then when you get a taste of that experience, then you're like, oh, I have to make that happen again. And so getting just a little, say they want to go out the country to the beach. Like, okay, maybe you can't afford to go out the country right this instant, but you know that there's a man-made beach 2 hours away. So then you go and you experience like, oh, I know it's going to be great in another country. So I guess just
Mm.
allowing themselves, really putting themselves in a position to just experience just a small portion of it so that your spirit can constantly go back. Cause I feel like I've been in a stage of like, I'm really yearning to go out the country and really yearning. And so because I've had those experiences, that yearning keeps me motivated. It keeps me, yes, focused and aligned with what it is that I want. Um, and also the other, I guess my other advice, which easier said than done, but is to just do it and not be afraid. Because I know a lot of things, fear is our number one, you know, obstacle within ourselves and just feeling like, oh, it's not going to work out or oh, it's not safe. That's the other thing. I feel like people don't realize other countries are usually the ones that I've been to, the few places I've been to, they tend to be very safe, much safer than America. Yes. And I feel like people don't know that. And so they're like, so
Every time someone I know goes out of the country, I'm like, or I do, I'm like, look, I have less of a chance being shot
hmm.
just
As a
because I'm
woman, I could
not
walk
there.
down the street at 9 o'clock if I want to. I went to Panama and I was
Mm.
walking one evening and this guy was talking to me, just, hey, how you doing? This and that. And I was like, why are you talking to me? Why aren't you minding your business? I am a young woman. I wasn't saying these things to him, but that was my energy. That was how I was feeling. And
Right.
as my stay went on, it's like, oh, that's the way of life. That's just how they are.
Air conditioned heat, like living in the United States,
Yes.
like, that was your
That was my conditioning, yes, and his
wow.
conditioning was to just be welcoming and make sure that, I wasn't alone or I wasn't feeling lonely and so, yeah, I think the first thing would just to be to take a leap of faith and to, tell fear to take a seat in the back. But yeah, I think the list is the main thing, because it's easy to get lost in your mind about all the things that you wanna do,
Mm.
but once you write it down and for those who are spiritual or those who may not know, there's a lot of power in writing things down. And so that alone will get you a step closer to experiencing the things that, may lead to curiosity.
Well, ma'am, I feel like we just went to Professor Amina's psychology class on curiosity and how to get it done.
Yes.
Thank you so much. If people wanna, like, follow you, follow your work, support you, and we'll get the links from you afterwards, but where can they find you?
Yes, I am on Instagram, Mina, Mina, 3 underscores Adele, Adele. I am on Instagram and I'll give you my LinkedIn.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much, I'm not
What
too much on the scene, but you can find me if you need me.
are you creating on TikTok or are you just,
Nah,
observing?
I'm observing. I was
Observing,
I was
yeah.
dancing. I was doing pole fitness. That was one of my curiosities. And so I started.
Good workout.
It's yes,
Insanely good
it's
workout.
so hard. It's literally so hard. um, so I was using my TikTok for that. But yeah, no, I'm an observer on TikTok. But I'm tempted because of everybody else. Yeah.
Who knows? Your next entrepreneurial experience, we might be able to
Oh,
watch.
my mom's like, you need to be on
Course
that.
not.
My mom's like, you need to get on that TikTok and tell them people that you're struggling because I know they are too. Yeah, so, but yeah, that's where you can find me. I
So
really enjoyed this.
I did too. Thank you. I am
Of
so
course.
grateful, so honored to spend this time with you.
Yeah.
And of course,
This was a really good conversation. Thank you for having me. I enjoyed this. I was a little nervous. I'm like, what's she gonna ask? I don't know what I'm curious about.
that's what you tell yourself, but apparently you
Yes,
full.
lots of things,
You
lots of
know.
things. Oh,
You
that was
know.
my other piece of
Mhm.
advice, to not let the day-to-day of, making things happen, like, to cloud your mind to the point where there's no room to be curious, because I'll catch myself like, okay, recently, actually, I've made a pact with myself to to treat myself to at least one thing every time I get paid, because before I had gotten so in the mindset of just bills, 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 survival, survival, survival. And it was making it harder than it had to be because I didn't have, a little reward to keep going to make it worth it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that is definitely part of my advice, to be intentional about how you treat yourself to a good time, or treat, in the midst of being an adult, in the midst of figuring it out. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. And I will
Yes.
remember that as I do just a little bit of my to-do list later.
Right. Yes, I know, right?
A little,
Yeah,
just a
treat
little.
yourself to some wine and your favorite show.
How did you know? How did you know?
Yeah,
Amina, thank you.
of course.
And I am so excited. I know we're just, and then there's people who do this. I know,
I
right?
haven't
That's a thing now.
My heart
That's,
isn't even cute like that.
I don't,
It's not bad. Yours is real cute.
look at, do you see that?
Oh, that's so cool. How did you do that?
Oh, you met, oh, I, don't- I,
Oh, okay, that's cool.
and
But
I'm,
yes.
I'm so thrilled to hear how the program goes and how everything is going. And I know we'll be in touch. So,
Yes, we definitely will. Thank you for having me. I had fun. This was fun. Yes, on your next topic, I want to be a part of it too, because I like to talk.
yes, well, you have a stand invitation. Don't you worry about that.
Yay.
You'll be back. Um, thank you.
No
And I hope
problem.
you go have a great evening and
I
celebrate.
will. I sure will.
All right.
Yay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ready to
Talk to you
talk
soon.
soon. Okay.
Bye.